The old woman's eyes turned black as night. Her frail hands gripped the calabash so tight her knuckles went white. "You want to know the secret?" she whispered. "Then you must pay the price. But let me tell you how this all began. In a small village by the great river, there lived a young woman named Amara. She was kind and hardworking, but life had not been kind to her. Her husband had died young, leaving her with 3 small children to feed. Every day was a struggle. The rains had not come for 3 seasons. The crops had failed. The river ran low. Many families in the village were hungry, but none hungrier than Amara's. Each morning, she would wake before dawn and walk to the forest to gather what little food she could find. Wild berries, tree bark, anything to fill her children's empty bellies. One day, as she searched deeper in the forest than ever before, she heard crying. It was soft at first, like the wind through leaves. But as she got closer, she knew it was human. Behind a large baobab tree sat an old woman. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her hair was white as clouds. Tears ran down her wrinkled cheeks. "Grandmother, why do you cry?" Amara asked, even though she had no food to spare. The old woman looked up with eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. "Child, I have not eaten in 3 days. I am too weak to continue my journey." Amara's heart broke. She reached into her small basket and pulled out the only thing she had, a handful of dried corn. It was meant to be dinner for her children. "Here," she said, placing the corn in the old woman's hands. "Please eat." The old woman's eyes filled with fresh tears, but now they were tears of gratitude. "You give me your last food when your own children are hungry?" Amara nodded. "We are all children of the same sky." The old woman ate slowly, savoring each kernel. When she finished, she reached behind the tree and pulled out a small calabash. It was nothing special to look at, just a simple gourd with carved patterns. "This is for you," she said, placing it in Amara's hands. Amara tried to refuse. "I cannot take your calabash. You may need it for water." But the old woman smiled mysteriously. "This is no ordinary calabash, child. When you are truly in need, whisper your wish to it. But remember, use it wisely. The magic works only for those with pure hearts." Before Amara could ask what she meant, the old woman vanished like morning mist. Amara stood there, holding the calabash, wondering if she had dreamed it all. But the gourd felt real in her hands. She hurried home to her children. That night, her youngest son cried from hunger. Her daughter asked why there was no dinner. Her oldest boy just stared at the empty pot with sad eyes. Amara looked at the calabash. What did the old woman mean? She felt foolish, but desperation made her brave. She held the calabash close and whispered, "Please, we need food for tonight." Nothing happened at first. Then, slowly, the calabash grew warm in her hands. She lifted the lid and gasped. Inside was the most delicious stew she had ever seen. Steam rose from it, carrying the smell of meat and vegetables. There was enough to feed her whole family. Her children ate until their bellies were full for the first time in months. They laughed and played after dinner. Amara watched them with tears of joy. The next morning, she checked the calabash again. It was full of fresh bread and milk. Every time her family was hungry, the calabash provided. Word spread quickly through the village. People came to see the magic calabash. They begged Amara to help them too. Amara's heart was generous. She shared the calabash's gifts with everyone who came. The elderly widow next door. The family with 7 children. The sick man who could not walk. Soon, no one in the village went hungry. But this kindness caught the attention of Chief Boko, the village leader. He was a greedy man who kept the best of everything for himself while others suffered. "Bring me this magic calabash," he demanded when Amara was summoned to his compound. "I cannot," Amara replied. "It was given to me to help those in need. I share its gifts freely." Chief Boko's face darkened with anger. "I am the chief. Everything in this village belongs to me." That night, he sent his warriors to steal the calabash. They broke into Amara's hut while she slept and took it. Chief Boko was overjoyed. Finally, he would have unlimited wealth and power. He held the calabash and wished for gold. Nothing happened. He shook it harder and wished for precious stones. Still nothing. In his rage, he threw the calabash against the wall. It cracked but did not break. The next morning, Amara discovered the theft. Her heart broke not for herself, but for the hungry people who would suffer. She searched everywhere for the calabash. Finally, an old woman told her she had seen Chief Boko's men carrying something toward the forest. Amara followed the path deep into the woods. There, by the same baobab tree where she had met the mysterious old woman, she found Chief Boko. He was on his knees, frantically trying to fix the cracked calabash. His fine clothes were dirty. His face was twisted with frustration. "It won't work," he screamed at the sky. "The magic is broken." "The magic was never in the calabash," said a familiar voice. The old woman from before stepped out from behind the tree. But now she looked different. Her clothes were clean and bright. Her eyes sparkled with power. "The magic was in the heart of the one who used it," she continued. Amara gave her last food to a stranger. She shared the calabash's gifts with everyone in need. "You stole it for yourself." Chief Boko's face went pale. "Who are you?" "I am one who tests the hearts of mortals." Amara passed the test. "You have failed." The old woman waved her hand. The cracked calabash flew from Chief Boko's grip and landed gently in Amara's arms. As soon as she touched it, the cracks healed themselves. "But you," the old woman said, turning to Chief Boko, "your greed has earned you a different gift." She touched his forehead with one finger. Immediately, everything Chief Boko touched turned to dust. His fine clothes crumbled. His golden jewelry became sand. "Until you learn to share what you have, everything you touch will turn to nothing," the old woman declared. Chief Boko fell to his knees, begging for mercy. But the old woman had already vanished, taking with her the wisdom that some people only learn through loss. Amara returned to her village with the calabash. She continued to share its gifts with everyone in need. Her children grew strong and healthy. The village prospered. And Chief Boko, he wandered from place to place, unable to touch anything without destroying it. Eventually, he learned to find joy in simple things: at a sunset he could watch but not touch, a song he could hear but not silence. Years later, when he finally understood the value of giving rather than taking, the curse was lifted. He returned to his village a changed man, spending his remaining days helping others instead of helping himself. The magic calabash remained with Amara until she was old. When her time came to join her ancestors, she passed it on to another person with a pure heart, someone who would use its power not for themselves, but for all who were in need. And they say that somewhere, in some village, the magic calabash still provides for those who truly need it. All it requires is a heart willing to share, even when you have nothing left to give. The greatest magic, after all, is kindness. Thank you for watching the magic calabash that never ran empty. What did you think of the story? Share your thoughts in the comments, and tell us, what would you wish for? Subscribe and hit the bell for more stories that touch your heart.